South Florida sunshine, palm trees lie, perfect smile, practice cry. Red dress walking into court, every glance says less than more. New husband, short honeymoon, whispers blooming way too soon. Phones light up at 2 a.m., promises written, erase a man. She says it was a movie scene, but the script was way too clean. Every word began to drip when detectives hit record and hit play. Text messages and red flags, love letters turning into body bags. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't pay a hitman. Lipstick, lies, and camera light. Reality TV meets real life night. Say it once, say it twice. The truth don't bend when the tapes play nice. Undercover with a wire tight, listening quiet, letting her talk all night. Is he dead? Slips out too fast. Future plans while the present cracks. She flips the switch, she plays the role. Victim voice, then full control. Tears on cue, mascara rain, but the timeline won't explain. Rehearse shock, a practice gasp. Hands too steady, answers fast. Every version slightly shifts while the jury reads between the script. Text messages and red flags, smiling while she does the math. She says it was all pretend, but pretend don't hire a friend. Gold hoops, heels, and courtroom sound. Every line leaves fingerprints around. Say it once, say it twice. Truth don't blink under cross-exam lights.
Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Hopefully my mic is okay. I've came down here and nothing worked. So I had to restart everything very quickly, and I didn't have a chance to check anything. So if I'm blowing your ears out, sorry. I'll turn it down or I'll turn it up. Well, I can't turn it up anymore. I got it turned up. Rip the knob off like we used to do in the 80s when we had to listen to the radio. Anywho. Oh, Carmen. Funny story about your dog. I'll text it to you later. Ah, goodness. Anyways, what's up, everyone? Pedaltown, I think you're my only mod tonight. You have to be on it. I also am glad to see you're here and everything went fine. Sounds like, Puddletown says he has 3 extra holds, and I want to make sure that I said Puddletown said that nobody thought that I said that. I have none. Just have the the normals. I'm gonna stop talking about that now. What's up, Bad Dazzer? How are you doing? And Haley. Hello, Haley. I saw Ash. Hello, everyone. How are you doing, Ash? I hope you're feeling well and getting back to 100%. Oh, whoops, I should probably catch up. Really? You did what with the knob? Back in the 80s, 90s, before, you could stream music, the radio ads would say, turn it up and rip the knob off. It was dumb. I never did that. And also, I'm just realizing what you're saying. Oh, good, Ash. You just turned it to 11. Peltown turned his to 11. I don't know what mine went to. I just was like, turn it up. I don't care. Or if I was looking for somewhere, you turn it down so you can look better. I still do that. If I'm looking for something, I cannot have the radio or anything going. I turn it down. It helps me find things better. Don't know. Unless, of course, I'm listening to directions. But I'm a woman, so I don't do that, right? I'll beat y'all to it. Okay, so today should be the last day that you have to see the Dalia intro. So Yay. I about played, if I wouldn't have been so caught off guard by nothing working when I came down here, I would have played the mannequin intro, but I was panicking. What's up, Katie? How are you? Ash, I agree. Because I don't know how much you have. I woke up and I went to go search the yard for the little black and white creatures I can't stand. And I went to open the door and there was like an inch of snow on the ground and it was still coming down. Like, last time I looked at the weather before I went to bed, it was supposed to rain for like 5 minutes. And there was little woodland creatures all over the place, so I had to keep the dogs inside last night. Or just, they stay inside anyway, but restrict their access. And then I was like, yeah, there's no skunks out there. But yeah, it was bad. Like, they put our county under like a yellow advisory to, I mean, they're not telling you to stay home. They're just saying, hey, maybe don't go out. So I didn't. I was like, no, you have 1 to 2 feet? Holy crap. Ours is all gone because it got up in the 50s today. So here today, gone today. That's fine. All right. So, oh, she's she's the sneaky one. I was not watching. That's funny. So anyway, I do. Well, I'll wait. She's always watching. I agree. Don't rage quit on me now. Don't do that. So I was the only one at my table with my dad, my brother, and my husband last night that would have got a joke that was, at least I thought it was funny, and I wasn't about to try to explain it to them. But when we were getting ready to, when the person came over, I say person because I think it was actually the manager. They came over to take our order for dinner last night. He whipped out a pencil. And I was like, yes. It was the best thing ever. Wow, maybe not. Thank you so much. Haley got one. Margaret, sorry, I don't take my mic with me. Margaret Gennaro, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Nanny Goat. Cuddle Sandiums, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm bad with names. And Becky Boo. All received gifted memberships from Maybe Not. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am planning on doing a members only stream next week. I just have got to figure out the day. So it will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If that narrows it down for you. Yeah, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And I need to gift my memberships out before we end today. I have a note here for me, but if I forget, somebody yell at me in chat to do that. Don't just yell at me. But whoever. I'm up. Oh my. Also, the pencil that the manager was using was old school. It wasn't clicker. It wasn't anything. I'm like, look at you. Also, can I have that pencil? Didn't ask him. Obviously, I would not do that. But it was my own little personal joke that only I got at the table, and that's fine. So tonight we are going to get the verdict for this. Feels like it's been forever. So we'll do that first. And then we will do, I'm not spoiling it because I told you at the beginning, and we've talked about it a couple times. She had 3 trials, and I told you that we do get a verdict on this trial. It's not a mistrial, it's not a hung jury. we get one. So we're going to watch the verdict. We're going to watch the sentencing. And then we're going to look at, I put a timeline together of everything that happened afterwards and how the other two trials went and how she ended up, like how they ended, and for whatever reasons, I could not find, and I didn't search a whole lot for information about the child that we were talking about that she had. She has a son. I just went to search for some very vague information about him because he's a kid and that's it. So I do have a little bit, but not a whole lot. And if it's not accurate, it is what it is. Thank you, whoever. Appreciate it. I have my, I'm backwards. I have my ultra rare Cat 6A shirt on tonight, even though that day is on Saturday. I just wanted to remind everybody that Saturday is Rare Disorder or Rare Disease Day. So if you are in that group, well, welcome to the club. It's not a club you really want to be a member of, but I know a lot of us are there. My granddaughter is there. She has been diagnosed with Cat 6A. She's doing great. So, what's up, Deidre? She showered. Actually, my hair does better when I don't wash it. So I don't wash my hair every day. Yep. Well, it's it likes to be a little dirty. Yeah, she's I get videos of her all day, every day. She's hilarious. She makes me laugh. And she's just cute. She's just going and going and growing and making progress. I am Katie. I have a 19-month-old granddaughter. Yeah, both my kids are grown, and well, Carmen lives in Texas, and then my son and his wife and daughter live about 10 minutes from me. Just the way. All right. Oh my gosh, you made your profile picture bananas. No. I woke up and saw all the bananas in Discord today and was like, what are you guys doing? So I had to put the picture from the crazy lady the other day. I had to put her face up there because that's what I felt like. And it was funny. I will never look at bananas the same. So you're just going to be over here. Well, I appreciate that. So that I'll take it. Why are you not needed? I'm not watching. I can't watch. I'm watching this chat. I'm not watching YouTube chat. So it's not me, Pedal Down. But you're needed. Don't go away. Don't go away. I know Gabby is busy. So, and Flashman, I think, is at choir probably. So don't leave. Don't leave. All right. Let's do this verdict, shall we? I know you guys are all just anxious, and I will have the times that the jury's deliberated. It's in the timeline. I think this jury deliberated for 3 hours, which really is not that long. But in this, sometimes, they don't deliberate that long at all. But we'll verify that when we look at the timeline. Someone is lurking. So my hands are over here. All right, here we go.
And welcome back. Please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. I'm guessing maybe has our jury reached a verdict? And Mr. Merlino, are you our foreperson? If you'll hand the verdict form, please, to Deputy Cascone. I'll have to check it to make sure it's in proper form, and then we'll have the clerk publish our verdict. I'll find that the verdict is in proper form and ask that our clerk publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit, Criminal Division in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, in case number 2009-9771, State of Florida versus Dalia Dippolito. Verdict, we the jury find as follows. As to count one, we find the defendant guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. If you find the defendant guilty, do you find that there is a firearm included in the solicitation? Yes. So say we all this 13th day of May, 2011 in West Palm Beach County, Florida. Signed jury foreperson, Joseph Merlino.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do also have a procedure called polling the jury. I'm going to ask the clerk to ask each one of you individually, was the verdict as read your verdict? And if it was, you'll say yes, and if this was not your verdict, you'll say no. And instead of calling out by name, we'll just use a number, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Juror number 1, was the verdict as read your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, was the verdict as read your verdict?
Yes, it was.
Juror number 3, was the verdict as read your verdict? Juror number 4, was the verdict as read your verdict?
Yes, it was.
Juror number 5, was the verdict as read your verdict?
Yes.
And juror number 6, was the verdict as read your verdict?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for your service, for your sacrifice, for giving up of your time, and attending to these very important disputes. I hope you have a better appreciation for what we do down here at the courthouse, and that it is citizens, fellow citizens, our neighbors, that grapple with these very troubling issues, very difficult questions that we ask, and making a decision. It is your participation, it is your sacrifice that lends the credibility to this process, and for that, all of us are very appreciative. Before I let you go, a couple of things. One, I've given you a couple of things there. One is a letter from me that says thank you. The next thing is a little certificate of appreciation that you've got as a keepsake. You can put it on the refrigerator or something like that, give it to the grandkids, whatever. And then we have a little survey. I've put together a survey over the years that I always try to improve our professionalism and our efficiency, the way with which we treat our neighbors, our jurors that come in. So feel free to add your comments, criticisms, suggestions to that. One time I was advised by one of a juror member that the bathroom in the jury room was broken. I didn't know. So it could be from the benign to the very important. So we have gotten good suggestions that we've incorporated to make it easier for you guys. You're released from your order not to talk about the case. You can talk with everybody, watch news, read stuff. There's lots of media people here, and on your way out, you're free to talk to them if you want to. You're free to keep your opinions and thoughts to yourself. I can't stop them from approaching you and asking you, do you want to talk? But if you say no and they don't respect that, I can do something about that. But I don't anticipate that they wouldn't honor your wishes to not talk about it. But if you choose to talk about it, that's completely up to you. You're free to do that. Before I let you go, can I answer any questions for you? Anything about this case, or I have to figure out what a sentence is going to be. I'm going to set the case off probably 30 days-ish, 35, 40 days, something like that. Set aside probably a couple hours to have a sentencing hearing and figure out more about Ms. Dippolito, her past, what other factors that either side thinks I ought to consider. So that won't happen for a while. My phone number's on there, so if you want to call in about, well, it'll probably be on the news. But if you want to call and find out what's going on, you can do that too. Is there anything else? All right, I'll leave you in the good hands of our deputy, and we'll take you out and get stuff in there. Thank you so very much for your attention in this case. All right. State, what's your pleasure?
State would ask for remand.
Okay. And is that a good plan as far as having a sentencing hearing, give you enough time to, I'll order a PSI. Do you want me to order a PSI?
I would appreciate that, Judge. I assume you're not going to hear any issues right now about remaining out. She's been on house arrest for almost 2 years.
if you want to argue, the state wants me to remand, I'll hear any argument you want to make with regard to me.
The only thing I can really argue is, Judge, she has no criminal history whatsoever. She has been on house arrest. She has followed that to the T. And I don't see any change in those circumstances. She can only go to her home and to my office. And I would at least ask the court to consider that. I may, depending on how you rule, I may at the appropriate time file a motion for appeal bond, but I'll take that up on another day.
Okay. Thank you for your request. I'll go ahead and deny the request to keep her out on bond. I'll honor the state's request. I'll revoke the in-house arrest status. I'll take you into custody of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office at this time. And we'll set a sentencing for order PSI due by the 13th of June.
Hey, Bobby.
And let's have a sentencing hearing. How much time you want me to set aside? And you can, I'll hear post-trial motions for new trial. We'll hear that all at the same time.
All right. It'll be filed timely, but obviously we're not going to be able to hear it within that.
2 hours enough time for all that, post-trial motions and sentencing?
I would think so, Your Honor.
Okay. I've got two suggestions. June 16th, anytime in the afternoon, June 17th, anytime in the afternoon. Those are Thursdays and Friday. Thursday and Friday.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I thought that's what that said. I am so sorry. I meant to say, hey, Bobby. Ugh. I did not mean to call you a booby. That's embarrassing. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, back.
16th, Thursday, Friday, the 17th.
Either's fine.
16th is fine, Judge.
All right, 1:30 okay? All right, let's set a 2-hour post-trial motions and sentencing hearing, June the 16th at 1:30 p.m. Yes. Did Bennett tell no bond at this time? Yes.
Can't tell.
All right, and I'll hold off on signing judgments and all that stuff until that time.
I'm kind enough to permit her to hug her mother before she leaves.
Pardon?
Ms. Parker, I'm kind enough to agree to let her give her mother a hug.
That's fine.
That's okay with the court.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, the surety bond's discharges having been successfully complied with.
Bye. Bye. See you later. All right. On to the sentencing. One sec. While I just change the channel. She looks a little different. Katie, I love it here. Thank you. Those weren't the kind of teens she was thinking she was going to be in. What's that say? Jokes on roost. Oh, she's getting her fingerprints. You'd think they would have done that already. I have a feeling if Carmen was here, she would critique it. His fingerprinting technique.
Right, because you don't ask for legal things in your mouth. That's what the family plan is. Yeah. I'm just saying. Oh, I didn't even hear you. Good morning. I
Absolutely. She probably is right now. And she might be driving to work right now. What's going on? Oh, Paddletown.
one of those in there talks about specifically solicitation is murder as well. I need to keep that.
Oh, she's listening to the prosecutor, I think.
No, because she would actually have to have physically possessed the firearm. I mean, I spent hours.
Okay, I mean, those were the cases we had in the trials.
Are there any more classes?
All right, second question on the agenda. Now we'll go to the program at the item.
Please be seated. Thank you so much. Make yourselves comfortable. Welcome, welcome. And let me call up the case of the state of Florida versus Dalia Dippolito. And Ms. Dippolito's present. She's in custody. She's here with her attorneys, Mr. Salnick and Mr. Fuchs. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
And state's represented by Ms. Burkhart. And, thank you, Ms. Parker. A little brain fade. And we're here for a sentencing hearing. Anybody have a preference on how we proceed? State defense?
Your Honor, would like to.
Mr. Salnick, you want to make a little bit of an opening and let me know what you'd like to do and what you expect of the hearing this afternoon?
Sure, Judge. It's not so much an opening as it is just who I'm going to call and what I'm going to reference to. But before I do that, Your Honor, there's just a couple of things I need to clarify, if that's okay with the court.
Sure.
I know that you have ruled on the motions for new trial.
Yes.
And I'm not here to relitigate anything, but there is something that needs to be clarified so that it's in the record for the appellate court. And if I can do that, Judge. I just wanted to be very clear on the record that the defense did not waive Mohammed Shihada's live testimony. What happened, Your Honor, was that Mohammed Shihada testified on video when the issue came up about Mr. Shihada's DUI arrest and his being back in the United States. We obviously did not know at that time that Mr. Shihada may have been back in the United States before the date of his perpetuated testimony. When this,
My recollection was that up front, you would have preferred to have him live. It was an accommodation to present his video testimony. That was before trial started. Then when midway through the trial, at some point, we all became aware that he was present. And I think I offered to have him forcibly brought here at your request. And I think at that time you made the election that you better not, and you were content with not having him here live.
content's probably a decent word, but I want to make sure that this is clear so that someone else who's looking at this understands our perspective, and that's why I want to bring it up. We didn't learn that Mr. Shihada was back in the United States at that time until after his arrest for DUI. He testified on Friday, April 29th, 2011. That was that afternoon of 4 hours worth of his testimony based upon what Ms. Parker and I, in good faith, worked on when we both believed that Mr. Shihada was not going to be back here. When Ms. Parker notified me that weekend and then filed something when we got back to trial about him being arrested and we had the bench conference, you asked if the defense had anything else to add or say, giving us whatever options that might have been available at that time. The problem was he had already testified for 4 hours on April 29th. And at the time his perpetuated testimony was played for the jury, I didn't know at that time, of course, that he was back in the jurisdiction. His testifying again at that point live after playing his perpetuated testimony from the defense standpoint would have served no purpose. What we waived, at least from the defense perspective, is his testifying live again after we learned that he was back. And obviously, Your Honor, had we learned
that Mr. Shihada was in the jurisdiction before his perpetuated testimony was played and then therefore available for trial, we would have clearly moved either for a mistrial or requested his live testimony then. And that's the only thing that I want to make clear, other than the last thing, and I think you've ruled on this, but when you issued your order, this wasn't specific, and I need to ask so that, again, the appellate record is clear. I had learned both independently and through Mr. Shihada's counsel that he, in fact, came back to the United States on April 22nd, 2011, prior to the start of trial and prior to his testimony. In my initial motion for a new trial, I had asked the court to either request or to order the state to make an official inquiry as to whether or not Mr. Shihada was back in the United States on April 22nd, as I had subsequently learned after trial. My position is there's no prejudice to the state in doing that. And that's really all I wanted originally. Because if I had been told that he was here and we didn't know about it, some of the issues that may have been litigated might not have been litigated. But when I asked the state if they would again check with their official source to see if he was in fact here on April 22nd, prior to his trial, and the state didn't do that, I became concerned with his whereabouts and who may have known what when. And all I'm asking is for, again, purposes of the appellate record, that it would be important to have in the file whether or not the state now has made an inquiry as to whether or not Mr. Shihada was present on April 22nd, 2011, prior to trial.
All right. But, well, did the defense make any effort to subpoena him? Did you make an attempt to have service and met with unsuccessful results?
Mr. Shihada was subpoenaed by personal service.
Right.
When we took his deposition.
Right.
And he was subpoenaed for trial.
Okay.
Then what happened was I received a phone call prior to trial that Mr. Shihada wanted to come back. I was given a phone number of Mr. Shihada to call purportedly in the Mideast. That number was given to me by his attorney. I spoke to Mr. Shihada on the phone. Mr. Shihada told me that he wanted to come back, but that his expenses for a change in flight and for a hotel needed to be paid. I indicated to him that I would do that. He then communicated to me, or Ms. Parker did, I don't want to misstate the order, that there had been communication with Mr. Shihada by the state and that the state was not going to pay for his expenses to come back. I then told Mr. Shihada I would do that.
Is that really Mr. Shihada, the guy we thought was her brother? Because I guess that would make sense. The video made him look very light-skinned, so that's what was throwing me off, but they just zoomed in on that dude. I thought that was her brother. Huh. Because I think maybe it was you that asked if that was him, but I thought, he looked so light-skinned in the video. Like, way different than that. She had a chance and she blew it. Well, she did every time with him, apparently, that she saw him. Did he tan a lot? I don't know. It must have been overexposure. I don't know. That is a song. You're right, Katie. Too much, too little, too late. Well, we'll see. Huh. All right. Well, this child just keeps on giving. I don't think that's him.
But through his attorney, so that there was no appearance of impropriety. And his attorney called me that Monday and said that he's not coming back. In fact, Mr. Shihada wanted another copy of the subpoena that had previously been served upon him for trial to show to his father. This is at least what I was told, in order for his father to understand that he really was subpoenaed. Then I was told by Mr. Goldstein that he was not coming back, and we proceeded the way we did at trial. And then it wasn't until after the trial was over that I learned he was in fact here on April 22nd.
Well,
would your greatest hope and expectation be if he had testified live versus the way he did by way of his videotape?
Well, obviously, Judge, and again,
I'm trying to figure out what prejudice might be.
not asking you to re-rule,
Right.
but the case law is really clear that an accused has the right to confront the witness, and a jury has the right to observe the witness's demeanor, the witness's body language, how the witness is answering questions. And I believe that on a tape, which you remember from the original hearings, I wasn't thrilled with. I even said to you, I don't believe that he's outside the jurisdiction. I think I said that at one of the early hearings. The prejudice is that the witness didn't walk in here, sit down at the witness stand, and look at the jury. Did I question the witness? Yes. Was Ms. Dippolito present at that perpetuated deposition? Yes, but it's not the same. So I just want the record to have that in there for whatever purposes an appellate court may deem it appropriate.
Thank you so much. All right, and who do you wish to present on behalf of your client?
Judge, I'm sure the court has looked at the sentencing memorandum.
Well, let me state that for the record, that both the state and the defense have provided well-thought-out, well-prepared sentencing memorandum. Thank you very much for giving me that in advance. I had an opportunity to review them. All the letters of support, everything that you submitted, I went through, and state as well. Thank you, Ms. Parker. Do you wish, so let me ask this. State, do you agree that if Mr. Salnick called each of these people that sent these letters, they would echo the sentiments contained in these letters? They would testify consistently with what they've put down in writing?
I would think so, Judge, yes.
All right, great, thanks. What would you like me to hear from live, if anything?
Judge, I do have 5 brief witnesses, and then I have some argument, which I'll save for the end as opposed to an opening statement. There are 5 people, 3 of them are relatives who would like to address the court. 2 are friends. There is a multitude of people here in support of Ms. Dippolito who would not necessarily testify, but I just wanted the court to recognize that as well. But I do have a few brief witnesses, if I may.
Also, for the record, I did receive the PSI, pre-sentence investigation. I think everybody's got a copy of that, and for what it's worth, I thought it was unremarkable. I mean, no surprises, I mean by that. It showed that she has no record, showed that she went to high school, shows that she had relatively uneventful, from a criminal standpoint, uneventful life up until the point that brought it into the courtroom. So, all right, Mr. Salnick, you may proceed.
All right, Your Honor. I would call Lauren Hernandez.
When you say brief witnesses, do you want them at the podium? Do you want them on the witness stand?
Probably on the witness stand, Judge. Whatever
Whatever you're more comfortable with.
All right.
I always think if they're going to be like, you know, a minute or 3, I put them at the podium. If they're going to be there for 5 or 8, I put them at the witness stand.
Remember my minute or 3 from the trial, so I don't want to mislead you.
Come on up to the witness stand, please. Good afternoon. Do you promise the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you so very much. Please be seated, make yourself comfortable. And once you get settled in there and get those microphones adjusted, please tell us your name.
My name is Lauren Hernandez,
First name is spelled?
Lauren.
Hernandez the usual way?
Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Mr. Hernandez, what is your occupation?
I'm a medical administration.
And what is your relationship to Dalia Dippolito?
I've known Dalia through her mother.
All right, and for how many
friend.
years have you known Dalia?
Over a decade now.
Over a decade, you said?
Yes.
All right, did you come here today either prepared with a letter or with some statements that you would like to share with Judge Colbath as he considers the appropriate sentence in this case?
I sure do.
Would you like to share that with Judge Colbath at this time?
Sure, if may I'm going to read. That's fine. I appreciate you allowing me to speak in behalf of Dalia today. I've known Dalia as long as I know her mother. Dalia was a shy girl, quiet child, was very obedient to her parents. I watched her grow from a little girl into a young woman. When she graduated from high school, when she got her license, her grandparents, God rest their soul, told her on her very much, and she did on them too. They did not speak English, so Dalia would be there to interpret. in any case that they needed her. She would take them to the doctor's appointments. She would take them to the park, always trying to make them happy and feel comfortable. She spent a lot of time with them. I was amazed at that age how Dalia, as a teenager, would spend the time, take her time to do such a thing at that age, and not taking her time to spend it on her. Going to the movies with friends, and she'd rather to spend time with her brother and sister, helping them with their homework and chores. She was very charismatic, gentle, always going the extra mile, very giving, always with a smile. One of those memorable moments, situations that I remember where I saw Dalia smile dim, was the very painful divorce of her parents. It was obvious that she was extremely hurt by this, but I believe that she felt it was her duty to remain strong for her mother, for her sister and her brother. Many times, when I would visit her mother, I could tell that Dalia has cried, but I didn't pry. Now I wish I had. Perhaps she would share some stuff with me. A few years ago, Rhonda started sharing some very personal struggles that she was going through with Dalia. While she did not go in detail, she shared enough so that I knew there was something going on with Dalia. And I'm here, Your Honor. I know that she has to be punished for this unfortunate situation. My heart goes to everyone involved. I beg of you for mercy. I know her actions have caused emotional pain, but I also recognize that she's not a danger to society. And she desperately needs a second chance to make a first impression. Turning her life around, perhaps, be able to use these unfortunate circumstances to mentor others. Your Honor, thank you for listening to me and considering a request for leniency. Thank you.
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Hernandez, the state may have some questions.
Ms. Parker.
I have no questions, Judge.
All right.
Thank
Mr.
you, Mr.
Hernandez,
Hernandez.
thank you very much for coming down here. I'm sorry about the reason you have to be here today.
Your Honor, I would call Angela Hernandez, no relation.
Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. Please be seated, make yourself comfortable, and tell us your name.
Angela Rodriguez.
Angela Rodriguez.
It's my fault, I apologize. Angela Rodriguez. I wrote Hernandez, I apologize.
And still no relationship. Mr. Selnick.
Ms. Rodriguez, could you tell the court your occupation?
Provider Relations Representative,
For what type of business?
an HMO.
All right. And do you know Dalia Dippolito?
Yes, sir.
And do you know Dalia Dippolito's family?
Yes, sir.
Did you come here today to share with Judge Colbath some thoughts that you have for his consideration as far as sentencing goes?
Yes, sir.
Would you share those with the court, please?
I've known Dalia for 14 years, through her mother as well. I request leniency on her. I've known her for a very long time. She's very responsible. Everything that Lauren had said, the way she helped her family, she was very responsible. She would pick up my daughter, take her places with her younger sister. She's very responsible, and she was very obedient and very family-oriented. And I know that she deserves leniency, Your Honor. She is a very good person, never been in trouble, and I definitely request that they please give her leniency and mercy for her family.
Thank you. The state may have some questions.
Ms. Parker? All right, thank you. Ms. Rodriguez, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I would call Amir Mohammed.
Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable. And please tell us your name.
Amir Mohammed,
Your first name is spelled,
AMIR,
and last name?
MOHAMMED.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Mr. Mohammed, could you tell us your occupation, sir?
I'm a banker,
And can you tell us your relationship to Dalia Dippolito?
her brother.
And did you come here today with some comments that you would like to share with Judge Colbath for his consideration?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you do that, sir?
Obviously, she's my sister. She's been there for me. Apologize.
Paper towel, sir.
Sorry. It's been hard emotionally. I'm not here to defend or contest anything. You know, obviously, I think that there should be a punishment. But she's been there for me. We're a small family. And, you know, she helped me raise me. It was hard, you know, having my parents divorced, not having, besides my friends, anybody to talk to. I could always count on her. If I ever needed advice or anything, we're just a few years apart, so things that I was going through, she experienced. So she was my first source, my first, you know, help. And not only was she there emotionally through my parents' divorce, she was always there in support. I was always active in sports. She came to a majority of my games. You know, I just really ask that you have mercy on her. You know, I don't know.
Thank you. The state might have some questions, I don't know.
Ms. Parker?
I have no questions, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. Appreciate you coming down here today. Oh, if you got cell phones on, go ahead and turn them off at this time. Now's a good time to turn them off. Getting a little interference here. Thanks.
I would call Randa Mohammed.
Hope she doesn't yell at us again.
Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. Please be seated. Make yourself comfortable up there on the witness stand. And Ms. Mohammed, let me express my sorrow and the reason why you're here today. I have a very sad for you and your family, and for everybody, but especially must be hard on you, and I appreciate you coming down here today.
Thank you, Judge.
If you'll state your name for the record, please.
Randa Mohammed.
And we've got the spelling.
All right, and you are Dalia's mother, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And you and I have spoken previously about you wanting to share some comments with the court as the judge considers the appropriate sentence in this case.
Yes, I do.
Why don't you go ahead and do that? Did you prepare something in writing?
Yes, I did. It was a little hard. So.
All right, why don't you speak into the microphone so that the judge can hear you, and please share with the court what you'd like.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing me this time to have this conversation with you. I'm here to please ask you to have some mercy on my daughter Dalia. In the past, Dalia has been in trouble, never associated herself with anybody that would engage her behavior when she was raised. Dalia grew up with very strict rules. With her father being from the Middle East, Dalia was raised in a very conservative manner, very limited to do a lot of things, like come home late or date any guys. As a child, Dalia was always enrolled in different activities. She will play basketball, she played the piano, she read a lot, she played softball, she also would play basketball. Being the first of my 3 kids, Dalia always helped me in the house, helped with her brother, her sister, homeworks, cooking. Dalia was very close to my mom and dad. They spent a great time together. They didn't speak the language, so Dalia helped a lot translating. If I couldn't take time off from work, taking them to doctor's appointments, she will do it for me. They spent a lot of time together while they were alive. Dalia loved to surprise them. She will go and pick them up and take them out for ice cream, take them out to the park, take them out for a ride. Both of them were very, very fond of her, and I know that Dalia has treasured those memories. When I got divorced almost 10 years ago, Dalia was greatly affected by that. Dalia was just graduating from high school and was very difficult at that time for the children and I. But Dalia never complained. Dalia got closer to her brother and sister and continued to be a big support for me. We spent a lot of time together. I could see that Dalia was more mature, taking more responsibilities, but always quiet and reserved with her thoughts. Her life also changed a lot. Dalia wanted to do a lot of things that she was not allowed to do before. Like, for instance, dating. Dalia always...
When I asked y'all to turn your cell phones on, I really kind of meant it. So if there's anybody else that's got a cell phone, please turn it off. Sorry, I missed one.
Dalia always got a good heart, ensuring that her sister was not missing anything. When Dalia got a job, she wanted to make sure that I have enough money to pay the bills so she can help if it was necessary. She would also make a little surprises for us, like going away for the weekend with the kids or taking out for dinner. previous to Dalia getting married, she was involved in 2 long relationships. Both of them were or are professional. They're very decent men whose upbringing reflected of my daughter. I think very highly of both of them, and to this day, my family and I still have a nice relation with both of them. As a mom, I believe that Dalia's ultimate choice of a man did not align with her getting married without my consent. That was very painful. However, there is a point in life that you have to accept that the children are grown and have to make their own decisions, good or bad. I respect the fact that the jury found her guilty. I have no words to explain why this unfortunate event happened, and I am sorry that it did. I don't support what it happened, but I know that you have the power in deciding what happens to the next phase of Dalia's life in showing mercy and leniency.
I'm sorry.
In life, we make mistakes. Sometimes we all deserve a second chance. Dalia's not dangerous, nor has she ever been in trouble, much less to hurt anybody. Your Honor, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please, to have some mercy with her. She has always been my right hand. She has been a good person helping her brother and her sister. We are a very tight family. And like my son says, we're a small family. So we depend very much one from each other. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Ms. Mohammed, can you just share one other thing with the court? There was something I referenced in the sentencing memorandum about her running away from home in high school. Can you just share with the court what happened there?
While Dalia was attending Trinity, I was going through divorce, and the school called me and said that she has run away from the school. Being a private school, they were very concerned. How did that happen? We were surprised. We didn't know. Why did she do that? She have left a letter with somebody from the school saying that she has taken a plane and she flew to New York. Thank God we were able to do all the arrangements, and we got her before she even left the plane. And all this, it was just concerning about, I guess, what we were going through with the divorce.
Thank you. The state may have some questions.
Ms. Harvey?
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Mohammed, thank you so very much.
Last witness, Judge, that I have is Samira Mohammed.
All right, so this is her sister. We'll see if we were right the other day. At least maybe got one of them right.
Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, please be seated. Make yourself comfortable. Good afternoon. And please tell us your name.
Samira Mohammed.
And how do you spell your first name?
Samira.
Thank you so very much.
Samira,
Yeah,
how
that's
old
not
are
the
you?
same woman.
16.
And what is your relationship to Dalia?
I'm her sister.
And are you the baby in the family?
Yes.
And did you indicate to me that you had some things that you wanted to share with Judge Colbath about your sister? Do you have them written down, or do you want to speak to Judge Colbath, or both?
Both.
Okay, why don't you do that?
Okay, I'm gonna read it first. This is the first time that I have involved myself in this case. I didn't want to be a part of it. However, seeing how it has hurt the ones I love and care about the most, I couldn't sit around any longer. As her younger sister, I grew up looking up to her. I could relate to her more than my mom because of the age difference. She would always give good advice. My favorite memories with her were probably when we would have sleepovers. We would have them almost every weekend. Even when she would live in the room downstairs, I'd always want to go downstairs and sleep with her in the room. We stayed up late and we'd watch movies and share secrets. It was our cool bonding moment. We have had our ups and downs, but what siblings don't? She has a strong head on her shoulders. She always taught me to be a tough cookie. Now I remind her to be that. One thing I admired was how close she was with my mom. She always took care of her. When my grandparents passed away, when my parents divorced, when my mom was sick, etc. The media has made my sister look like a monster, which is very, very far from what she is. They have said some degrading things about her. Yet through it all, my sister has been very positive. She is very caring and loving. She always treated my friends very well. She has been extremely supportive of me through everything. She has helped me, along with my mother, to be the person that I am today. We come from a good family. God is a major part of it. He has given my family, friends, and most importantly, my sister, the strength to stay strong through this major obstacle in life. She has changed so many lives. So many people have thanked her for the impact that she has made on their lives, including mine. Regardless of what the media thinks and says, I know my sister. They don't. Bad things happen to good people. I believe that they happen to test our faith. God wouldn't put us through anything we weren't going to be able to handle. It's hard now because she's not here anymore. And like, I need her here. She helped me get ready for prom. She helped me on my first date. I'm gonna be a senior in high school. And I don't know what I'm doing. And yes, I have my mom and my brother, but she's my sister. And I look up to her. And it's been the four of us our whole life. It's always been me and my sister and my brother and my mom. And things aren't the same anymore. And I'm tired of seeing everyone cry and being so upset about this. I understand you have to punish her. Just please consider how hurt we are and how much this has put us through for the past few years. In conclusion, I ask you to consider to be lenient on Dalia Mohammed's sentencing. She isn't the person that the media perceives her to be. Here's a picture of one tough cookie, because she always taught me to be a tough cookie. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. State of any questions?
Ms. Parker? Okay, thank you very much.
After reading defense's memorandum, sentencing memorandum, I just want to put on the record that the state would have any objection to the admissibility from that memorandum of emails, memos, transcripts submitted by the defense containing any reference to plea negotiations in this case, any offers to settle in the divorce case. The state requests this court to strike them from the court file, that they not be made a part of this proceeding or a part of this court record pursuant to Florida Statute 90.410 and State versus Walters. And in State versus Walters, it was error, and I provided a copy to defense counsel and to the court. The court in that case found it was error to introduce emails exchanged between the state and counsel for the defendant regarding plea negotiations. Evidence of statements made in connection with any of the pleas or offers is inadmissible. So a statement made by any party, whether it is contained in an email directly from the state or whether it's defense counsel's personal notes, would be inadmissible. And the state is making that request of the court before we proceed any further.
Yeah, to allay any fears that y'all might be having, yeah, I don't get Mr. Selnick's going to be even offering them, but I'll, to the extent that they would be in evidence, I'll sustain that objection. They're not going to go into evidence, and so that you're reassured. I don't consider those communications that may have gone on between the two of y'all, which is a normal part of the process, an appropriate part of the process. I don't consider that, I don't give that any value, whether the state offered a plea, didn't offer a plea, offered a lenient plea, offered the maximum plea. That's of no moment, carries no weight. And so I think the documents are entitled to be part of the court file, but they're not anything that are going into evidence, nor is it anything I'm considering or putting any weight on in any form whatsoever.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
As far as witnesses, Sergeant Ramsey is here from the Boynton Beach Police Department. The undercover officer, Woody John, is here. Detective Alex Moreno, and also Sergeant Sheridan. They're in the audience, Judge, but Mike Dippolito is here, and he will be the only one addressing the court. He wants to talk about how this case has affected him and the defendant's actions, the effect it's had on his life.
You want to go ahead now?
Yes.
Mr. Dippolito, come on up, please.
Okay, before he does that, just so I don't know if Zach's still here, but thanks for the super chat, Zach. That you're gonna find that exit. I have faith in you, and I can't eat any cookies, not even the tough ones, because I don't have any milk. Because Zach keeps missing the exit. Yeah, I think that dude's Woody John, that we thought momentarily thought was Mr. Shihada. All right, let's see what he's got. I can't believe that you're not here. Okay. Oh, well, you're not kissing that fish. What's wrong with you? Why are you done, Bobby? So, I thought we were all going to be done with Mikey D. But here we go again, one last time.
Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. All right. Please be seated. Watch the steps and make yourself comfortable up there, please. And please tell us your name for the record.
Michael Dippolito.
Ms. Parker.
Mr. Dippolito, would you like to tell the judge how your life has been affected by the defendant's actions?
Okay. I took some notes. There's just so many things. I wouldn't have took notes. I just didn't want to leave anything out. Where do I begin? Let me just start off by saying, when I married my wife, I was very much in love with her. And I thought we were doing things that normal married people do. And I was a very good husband. And I provided everything we needed. And, that being said, lo and behold, that wasn't the case. I don't know who these people are talking about, but it's not that girl. And I feel bad. I don't even want to be here. Since this started, I've always put my hand out. Give me my house. Let's be done with it. I'll beg the judge to even do whatever. I don't personally gain anything from this. I I have about 14 victims that haven't been paid their money because of this. I'm on probation until 2032. How my life's affected, I don't have my freedom. You know, for 2 years, I should be a free man. You know, the difference between me and I guess what's going on here, you know, I went to prison. You know how I got there? I said, I did it. Yeah, I did it. Let's get this over with and handle it. You know, that hasn't happened here. All I've had to deal with is, before, you know, the money stolen, my victim's money, my house. I'm still married. I don't have my home back. It's my house. I bought that house. I'm going to get it through a divorce. It's mine. And there's no arguing that. I don't have it. I mean, this girl doesn't feel sorry for anything. She still doesn't think she did anything. And believe me, I don't want to get up here and be nasty, but the reality is I sit and listen to this. Even today, we're talking about a retrial? Retrial for what? I mean, what is it we're doing? Who didn't understand what happened here? They still don't want to admit anything happened. Nothing bad happened. It's all good. Let's just all go home and it's fine. I'm not okay. You know, my father died. I was supposed to have been able to travel to see him. I didn't get to see my dad. You know, my dad's dead. And, you know, that was part of my plan. Get off probation, go see my family, spend time with my father. That didn't happen. It's not going to happen now. You know, people didn't get paid, you know, in between all this. You know, her plan was to put me back in jail till 2032. I guess when what didn't work or whatever happened, you know, I don't even want to, I guess that's not the point. But the point is, here we are today. Well, that wasn't good enough. She tried to kill me. I'll be honest, I can't focus on the fact of trying to be killed because I have so many problems now and I'm still on probation. These people didn't get paid. I'm a nervous wreck. I don't know, you know, I'm not working practically. My business has failed, is gone. My life is ruined. I walk out here today, Judge, what is it? 2032 is when I get released if I pay the money. I didn't commit a violent crime. I got 30 years. That's not a joke. Everybody laughs, oh, but no, it's not. You take 30 years. You go 2 years in prison and take the 28 years. You take it. You know, I take it serious. I worked my ass off to get off probation. I did the right thing. I owned what I did. You know, yeah, I'm a convicted felon. Oh, I'm a bad guy. I'm not that bad. I worked my butt off to pay these people back. You know? And then, you know, to go through all this, and like I said, the whole way, I'm just waiting to hear, okay, we'll try and fix this and give you a and I would have came in here and I'd have said, you know what, Judge, send her on a vacation. She deserves it. I'd have said anything because you know why? If she would have owned it like a normal person and would have owned up to something, I would respect that. But instead, when I get to court, I hear that I want a reality television show. Not only is she coming, like her lawyers alone, it's ridiculous. You should have just said space aliens landed, and they did it. That would have been a better defense. You could have made that up. You know, and I had to sit through this. I want a reality show. That's ridiculous. You know, I don't know when I'm getting off probation now. You know, that's my problem. It's been my problem. I'll deal with it. Am I happy? No. Am I happy I'm here? Absolutely not. Did I wish all this didn't have to happen? Yes, I wish it didn't have to happen. But the reality is, you know, I didn't do this. Just like I said in the beginning, I have nothing to do with this. I didn't do it. I can't imagine in a million years if she wanted to do the right thing and she wanted to steal my money and leave me, she got a divorce. What was I going to do? Cry? Oh, boy. You know, who does this? Whatever. This isn't a wholesome person. This isn't a person that has any regret, any remorse. As soon as we walk out here, you know they're filing for an appeal. You know why? Because they think everybody in this room's stupid. That's why. Because we're all stupid, and they're smarter than us. And nobody did anything. And God, she's a great girl, and whatever. You know, when I met her, I thought all those things. But after I went through all this and realized, that's not even close. And like I said, honestly, I'm just not that type of person. And I don't want to be up here nasty, and you know, but the reality is, again, I sat here today and felt like I was getting shit on. Again. You know, it's just never ending. It's just never ending. I mean, and today, you know, my ex-wife isn't getting sentenced. It's my wife that's getting sentenced. And that says a lot. You know, why wouldn't that be handled by now? They don't want to do anything. They don't want to own anything. They don't want to do anything. I'm sorry if I'm I don't want to offend anybody, and believe me, I feel sorry for everybody that's in here crying. But you know what? I got to feel sorry for myself. Nobody's helping me. My mother had a nervous breakdown. I'm like, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. You know, I just don't know how I'm feeling some days. And it's just not fair. You know, it's not fair. I put my hand out and they just slap it all the way to today. You know, and you know, maybe it's my fault. I'm too nice of a person. I don't know, but I'm not going to change who I am. You know, that's not the point here. You know, I thought we were even supposed to be having a baby. You know, I wasn't allowed to talk about certain things, you know. I'm under the impression we're starting a family. I'm just a fool, I guess, but that aside, I just, you know, I guess I've said enough. Like I said, and I mean this from my heart, I wish we weren't here. I wish she would have did anything but what she did. But the reality is she did all of it. And even to today, they don't want to own it. God forbid someone says, I committed a crime, let me own it and get over it, which I did. You know, I didn't hesitate. You know, that's the difference between, you know, someone that wants to move past it and do the right thing. So you got to own what you did, you know, and we're not seeing it, you know. So if I rambled, I apologize. If my behavior was out of line in any way, I do. I don't know, you know. I hope I made a little sense, okay?
Hang on. And Ms. Parker, any other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Zelnick?
Just a couple.
Sure.
You're not going to call me a parrot today, right? No. Okay. Are you still paying restitution now on probation?
Yes.
Okay. And you pay whatever you can pay monthly?
Yes.
All right. And until that restitution's paid, as I understand it, you can't even apply to get off probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Dippolito, did anybody along the way, while this case was pending, make you aware of the fact that Ms. Dippolito was willing to pay you back that money?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance?
I can certainly ask that after what he's testified to.
Oh, sure. Overruled.
Did anybody along the way, Mr. Dippolito, advise you that through me, Dalia Dippolito, was willing to pay you back the money that you say she owed you?
There was no deals in front of me.
No deal. But did anyone tell you that? Your personal lawyer, Ms. Parker, anyone involved in the case tell you that we made that offer?
No.
Did anyone tell you that we wrote a letter agreeing to do that?
No, I never saw a letter.
Okay.
Do you know that I'm still on probation today? You understand that, right?
I do.
And I still don't have my house.
I hear you.
You get that? You understand what's going on here?
I get
Okay.
that.
I just want to make sure we're clear.
We are.
Because, you know, nothing in my life is good. It's all
Okay.
bad. Trust me.
All right. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So no one told you ever that there was an offer by Ms. Dippolito?
Never saw one.
No, I didn't ask if you saw one.
If it was a real offer, I'm sure I would have saw it.
Did anyone communicate that to you?
No.
Okay. Did your divorce lawyers communicate it to you?
No.
And Ms. Parker didn't, nor did your other attorney?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
Sustained.
Now, was it communicated to you that Ms. Dippolito was willing to give you back your house?
It was communicated to me, and I said that it wasn't acceptable because I still need to pay my victims back. And then it was communicated to me that any money she has is going to go towards her appeal. Because God forbid she pays my people and my victims. Because she has to put it towards the appeal, because this is all nonsense here. This doesn't count, right? Because they're wrong.
Who communicated that to you?
That's what I heard from, I believe, her divorce lawyer.
Okay. Her divorce lawyer? Okay. Did you hear that from your divorce lawyer?
Yeah, they said no.
Okay. Did you become aware that I wrote a letter to your personal lawyer offering to give you back your house with no strings attached, no recommendations,
You're going to give me
nothing?
something I already own that's mine?
Well, let me ask you a question.
You're going to give me back something that's mine?
You need it back legally, right, Mr. Dippolito?
I'll get it legally in the other court. Trust
Okay.
me.
All right. But now you got, and I appreciate that, but you got to just answer my question.
Sure.
Did anyone, was it communicated to you that Ms. Dippolito signed a quitclaim deed, and let me finish the question, and with no strings attached, was willing to give you back the deed to your home?
It was communicated to me, and then when I went to go and do it, and I said, fine, I'll take the house, because I need the house.
Okay.
The deal changed. Can't get it done. All of a sudden, we can't get it done. Something happened. And then, lo and behold, like everything else, I just assumed, maybe I'm wrong, that it was just game playing again, which here we are today talking about something that should have been handled 3 days ago.
Well, I'm not a divorce lawyer, so I can't speak for that.
You wrote the letter.
Okay, I wrote the letter. Mr. Dippolito. This is the deed to your home. We want nothing in exchange, but that was offered to you last week as it was months ago. If you want it, there's a deed to your home. I don't want it.
Wow, thanks for giving me back my own house.
No problem, sir.
You did me a
It's now
solid.
yours.
I already own this house. I paid for it.
It's now in your hands. Thank you. Ms. Parker?
clarify a couple of things. Mr. Dippolito, the conversation about that deed to your house, do you remember when the first time that that issue ever even came up?
Friday,
Last Friday?
last Friday.
Okay, right before this sentencing?
A little convenient, yes.
Okay. Now, you and I have talked several times during the course of this case, have we not?
Yes.
Okay, and we've had several conversations about how you feel and what you wanted to happen prior to trial, didn't we?
Yes.
And even your lawyer and I had talked to you about possibly her giving you back your restitution money and her giving you the house and you coming into court and
I would have
telling the
begged
judge.
the judge to send her on a Vegas vacation.
Okay, and you even made that clear in your deposition, didn't you?
In my deposition,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, did you ever hear your lawyer or myself tell you they've got the money in a trust account and we've got it ready for you?
Never.
Okay. We've had discussions about that issue though, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to move the question.
I'm sorry if I'm a little upset, Judge. I just look, like I said, I meant it when I said it. If this would have went a different way, I would have a completely different attitude. It just hasn't, and I'm a liar, and I'm a reality show guy, and I'm all these things that, you know what, I'm not. That's the only reason. I apologize. I'm a little upset to even everybody here. Like I said, I don't want to be here. I wish this didn't happen.
No need to apologize. It's an emotional time, an emotional place, and for visitors here, it's a strange land with strange rules. So anyway, thank you very much. Excuse me. Ms. Parker, anything else?
No, Judge.
All right. Okay, let me hear first from the state and tell me what you want me to do.
Judge, the defendant, she's an unsuccessful murderer. The evidence at trial showed that she hired a hitman to kill her husband in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner. She's shown no remorse about what she did. And had the defendant succeeded in actually killing Mike Dippolito, there would be aggravating factors that would weigh in favor of the death penalty. And the state would submit to the court that these factors should be taken into consideration when determining an appropriate sentence in this case. Pursuant to Florida Statute 921.141 subsection 5, that sets out the aggravating circumstances that exist weighing in favor of the death penalty. In Hernandez versus State 632 Southern 2nd 246, the defendant in that case was convicted of solicitation to commit first-degree murder by hiring someone to kill his wife. The evidence at trial showed that solicitation was, or the defendant was going to benefit from several insurance policies on his wife's life, and that was his motive for seeking her murder, was to enrich himself. Your Honor, specifically applying Florida Statute 921.141 subsection 5 subsection F, in the same reasoning as the Hernandez case to the instant case, the defendant here solicited Officer Woody Jean to murder Mike Dippolito for pecuniary gain. The defendant wanted the house that they lived in free and clear without a mortgage. She used fraud, she used deception to get Mike Dippolito to sign the house over to her. She took his money, the money that he was to pay probation with, and she spent much of it on Mohammed Shihada, trying to gain his assistance and having Mike Dippolito's probation violated. In addition to wanting the house, she didn't want to have to pay back the money to Mike Dippolito that she took. She also didn't want to assist Mike Dippolito in getting back the $140,000 from Eric Tall, her best friend's husband, that was used to pay off his restitution. Second aggravating factor is Florida Statute 921.141 subsection 5 subsection D, and that allows for an aggravating factor if the murder was committed while the defendant was an accomplice in the commission of a robbery. The evidence at trial through the phone conversation recordings between the defendant and Mohammed Shihada showed that the defendant constructed a plan to have Mike Dippolito murdered after he withdrew $10,000 from a bank in Boca Raton. The defendant told Mohammed Shihada and Woody Jean, the undercover officer that she had hired as a hitman, that they could have the money that would be on Mike Dippolito as a payment. The defendant told Woody Jean that it would be ideal if a murder could happen after Mike Dippolito withdrew the money from the bank, because then it would look like a robbery gone bad. Or in the alternative, Woody Jean could break into their house, steal items, and again, make it look like a robbery gone bad. Had the defendant been successful in her murder of Mike Dippolito the way that she had schemed, it would have occurred during a robbery, which should be considered as part of any of the sentence in this case. And the third aggravating factor, Your Honor, is 921.141 subsection 5 subsection I. And that addresses whether the murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. Again, applying the same reasoning as the court did in the Hernandez case, the defendant's conduct was shown to be cold, calculated, and premeditated without any pretense of moral or legal justification. The defendant is seen on video laughing as she plans the murder of her husband of 6 months. She tried to hire Larry Coe and others from Riviera Beach to help her kill him back in April of 2009. She researched funeral homes in anticipation of his death in order to look like a grieving widow. This was planned and premeditated. She took calculated steps in trying to have Mike Dippolito's probation violated. She enticed Mohammed Shihada and Mike Stanley into helping her. She spent hours and days plotting against her husband, trying to think of ways to harm him, ways to get his money, ways to get his house. She had no regard for his life or for what killing him would do to his family. Consequently, the defendant has been successful, and had the defendant been successful in murdering her husband, Mike Dippolito, the aggravating factors could all be used in support of seeking the death penalty against the defendant. Such conduct has been deemed by the legislature to be sufficiently reprehensible to justify listing it as a factor which supports the imposition of the death penalty. The state is requesting that the court take these factors into consideration when determining the appropriate sentence for the defendant here. Now, the defense has submitted a memorandum with attached exhibits, and the recurring theme throughout the letter submitted is that the defendant could not have committed the crime, so be lenient on her. And that is not what the evidence showed at trial. That is not what the jury found. There's no excuse, there's no justification for this crime. It's not because the defendant's father was strict or that the defendant may have witnessed acts of domestic violence while growing up. She was married to a man that adored her and gave her everything that she wanted. The defense alleges in their sentencing memorandum that there are legal issues that would grant the defendant a new trial, and the state submits to the court that there was not an improper comment on the defendant's right to remain silent during closing argument. Additionally, the issue relating to Mohammed Shihada being in the country at the time of trial was discussed and dealt with during trial, and the court has properly ruled on both of those motions for a new trial. The defense also addresses the need for restitution. The state charged the defendant with solicitation to commit first-degree murder with a firearm. She was not charged with grand theft over $100,000 because Mike Dippolito willingly gave her that money. She, as his wife, did not do what she promised to do with the money. Would the state and Mike Dippolito like to see the victims get their money back? Absolutely. That's clearly a priority for Mr. Dippolito. But there's no adequate, under the law, no adequate factual support for restitution for Mike Dippolito. The test is that there must be competent, substantial evidence that shows the victim's need outweighs the need for incarceration. It's the victim's need, not the preference, and that's DeMoss versus state. And in this case, Judge, the restitution was not a part of the solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant's actions speak for themselves. She was planning a murder. She wanted her husband dead. She came into court and she blamed the Boynton Beach Police Department for what happened. She tried to make it their fault. She blamed Mohammed Shihada. She blamed Mike Dippolito. And now she's coming into court, she's shifting the blame to everyone else, including her father. And the state's requesting the court to hold the defendant accountable for her actions and sentence her to 30 years Department of Corrections. Unsuccessful isn't a reason to mitigate a sentence or a reason to be lenient. The defendant is an unsuccessful murderer, and she should be treated as such. Thank you.
Mr. Salek.
Judge, a lot of the things that the prosecution, the Assistant State Attorney just indicated are things that occur in a homicide case. Aggravating factors that one would bring out if someone was convicted of first-degree murder. And as much as the state has its opinions and personal feelings about what they believe should happen in this case, the reality is that Ms. Dippolito was convicted of an offense where those things are not there as aggravators, where those things are not there to enhance a sentence. And in fact, They don't need to be, because you have wide latitude in this case. And no matter what the state says about those things, those are not reasons to give Ms. Dippolito a 30-year sentence. In the sentencing memo, Judge, I addressed certain things. I addressed her, what I call her normal life, her activities, the things that kids did, the issues with her father and her family deteriorating. She tried to remain strong and tough. Her mom wanted things to be so normal for her children that she would do anything to keep things peaceful. There was no evidence that she ever had counseling or treatment. And as I said in the sentencing memo, she watched her father abuse her mother, her grandparents. There are things that went on. Obviously, if the state is being intellectually honest, the state knows that in a capital case, if they want to use their same logic, lots of times those things are brought forth for a court to consider an individual's background and upbringing when fashioning an appropriate sentence. In a capital case, of course, it's life versus the ultimate penalty. But if the state's going to argue it that way and think that those things are equally are applicable, then what's equally applicable is the court looking at her background and some of the things that she did. No one in here today who has testified has shifted a blame. They're offering their opinions and their thoughts on a young lady who knows she has to be sentenced and who knows she's going to be punished. And for purposes of sentencing, Your Honor, we obviously take the position, regardless of what positions were advanced at trial. Ms. Dippolito's been convicted. She's going to be sentenced. And what's an appropriate sentence? That's really the question. And the prosecution in their sentencing memo assumed that the defense was going to make a request for a downward departure based upon this being an isolated incident or done in an unsophisticated manner or done in a way where remorse was shown. And even if that could be proven, Your Honor, in discussions with Ms. Dippolito, I'll tell you, we pointed out, and she agreed, that this may not be a case where the court would ever deem a departure sentence appropriate because, first of all, that's the second prong. If we proved every piece of what that mitigator was, the second prong would be that you would have to determine whether or not this is a case where departure is appropriate. And my opinion and my experience in discussing it with Ms. Dippolito, we talked about why this is not a case to ask for a departure sentence. And if those who want to speak on television and everywhere else want to criticize me for doing that, then so be it. But it's not the type of case that we felt that was intellectually honest. Courts have historically, Your Honor, looked at an individual's background and prior life experiences in determining an appropriate sentence. We do have a first offender. And notwithstanding how Ms. Dippolito has been portrayed, there were many things in her life which we pointed out to you in the sentencing memo. And we're asking for a fair sentence. And the court knows the classic purpose of sentencing. It's to punish. It's to deter and ultimately be rehabilitated. Putting Ms. Dippolito in prison until she's 58 years old would certainly be incredibly cruel and well beyond what may be needed to punish her here. The state talks about what if this was a death penalty case, and as I've already addressed that. I didn't come here today to relitigate the case, to tell the court what happened. What happened was presented to the jury, and the jury ruled accordingly. She's been convicted. We know that. It's time to determine what should happen. I thought about, when I was doing this, the federal system for a moment. And the federal system talks about imposing sentences on individuals that are an adequate sentence, but not greater than necessary in order to punish. And an individual's characteristics are certainly considered in any federal sentencing. And the law even changed a number of years ago to make federal sentences advisory, with a court having the ultimate decision to impose an appropriate sentence based on a person's prior history and characteristics. I would submit, Judge, that it's not that much different here. We no longer have the guidelines, obviously, where you must give one range versus another. We have guidelines which show you the lowest permissible sentence absent a departure. And there's certainly ways to punish but not ruin, and to deter but not to destroy. The court can consider all of these factors. And the reason I put the information in about the resolution of the case, and I'll be very brief on this, was only because sometimes people come in and say, well, she said, come and get me. I don't want to resolve the case. And we tried to do that. But for whatever reasons, it wasn't possible. Enough on that. Her willingness to return the home with no strings attached was something that came months ago. It came up again last Friday because we thought that that was in everyone's best interest to do that. I've got nothing to do with the divorce case at this point. I appeared at one point during a proceeding in the divorce case, but I haven't done any of the negotiations or anything involving that. I simply wrote to Mr. Dippolito's personal attorney saying, and I think that's in the sentencing memo, and I think that is fair for the court to consider, we want no strings attached. We're not making any admissions, but the home is Michael Dippolito's. Michael Dippolito can have the deed. We want nothing for it, and he's got it. And whatever they decide to do with that in the divorce case is up to them. I can't really mix apples and oranges when it comes to that. Whether we agree or disagree why the home was placed in her name, it's insignificant. It's back to him, irrespective of what happens today and irrespective of what happens in the divorce case. If you compare Dalia Dippolito's life prior to her meeting Mike Dippolito, and you look at all the things that I've presented, the word enigma comes to mind. Because if you look at her pre any of this and pre-meeting Mike Dippolito, and when she was a young girl, she obviously had been raised in a family that taught her certain values. Intellectually speaking, Judge, that doesn't mean she shouldn't receive punishment. I mean, I'm the first one to tell Ms. Dippolito, she's going to be punished, she's not going home. It just means fairness, and it just means whatever justice is. And as I said in my memo, and I wanted to address this, saying she's remorseful or I'm sorry isn't going to change anything. It's kind of ironic that Mike Dippolito said either when he testified at trial or in his deposition that his life changed when he met Dalia Dippolito. And I would submit that so did Dalia Dippolito's. She entered a lifestyle that was so dramatically different from what she had grown up in with her father, and witnessing the deterioration in her parents' relationship, that this was a welcome change. Nobody struck her, nobody punished her, there was no one to taunt her. This was a new way of life, and she became accustomed to it. And she was introduced into a world of fast cars, easy ways to make money, expensive clothes, and all kinds of toys. And notwithstanding what's been suggested by the state, I still submit that it's no coincidence that on a computer seized that Mike Dippolito told the police to take, there are numerous searches for various things that deal with reality TV, casting calls, and a way to gain fame and fortune. It's also no coincidence that on this same computer that Mr. Dippolito told the police to take, there were searches for attack dogs, which Mike Dippolito said he searched. And that just lended some pause for the court to consider some of his testimony at trial about never being on her computer and never doing anything. But you know what, Judge, that doesn't mean a whole lot to what you have to do today. Because when this case is over and the lights go out and the media moves on and 2020 has aired their story and 48 Hours has profiled the trial and Nancy Grace has criticized the defendant for the umpteenth time and the TV show Cops have finally given the Boynton Beach police chief the attention he was seeking, what we have left is a young girl with no criminal history, convicted by a jury of a crime that carries with it a maximum sentence, which is as good as a life sentence for Dalia Dippolito. What's more important in this case is what's fair, what's just, and what's appropriate. To sentence her to the 30 years the state is asking, in my opinion, is excessive. We're asking this court to sentence her to something consistent with the guidelines, followed by home confinement, and followed by a period of 28 years probation. The court could order restitution if it wanted to nonetheless. I don't agree with Ms. Parker. That's certainly not something that we would debate. But we think that we need to ask the court and implore the court to order a fair and just sentence and not throw her away for the rest of her life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salek.
Judge, may I approach this question?
Yes. And Ms. Dippolito, do you wish to make any statement? You and your attorney have probably discussed that. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I feel incumbent upon the circumstances to ask you so that I know the answer from you rather than, I want you to know that it's your decision. If they've told you not to and you want to follow that advice, that's fine. That won't offend me at all. If you want to make a statement, it's completely up to you. And if you want to talk with your lawyers privately for a second or two before you answer that, you can do that.
Judge, I don't think she wishes to say anything.
Okay, thank you so very much. All right, thank you very much for the presentations. Again, let me start out by complimenting the professionalism of the attorneys, both the state and the defense. These are tough cases, and it's nearly an impossible feat. We ask attorneys to engage in zealously representing their clients, fighting in court. Sometimes it becomes personal, but the mark of professionalism is to have these very sharp disputes resolved in a professional, appropriate manner. And I want to compliment both the state and the defense in their zealous representation and maintaining a high level of professionalism. I get to see lots of trials, lots of lawyering. I get to see very good lawyering, and sometimes I get to see lawyering that's not so good, but I did witness an extremely high level of quality of representation for both sides and professionalism, and I very much appreciate that. I want to thank you for that. All right, let me begin by sharing with the parties that the jury's found you guilty, Ms. Dippolito, of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. In Florida, that's a first-degree felony. The maximum penalty for that is 30 years in the Department of Corrections. And then the legislature has also created guidelines that consider the crime that you've committed and then add on additional points for crimes that you may have committed in your past, which are none. And so the only score that you have on your score sheet is this crime. And the legislature, through the guidelines, has recommended a presumptive minimum sentence of 4 years in the Department of Corrections, 48 months. And was that changed by the guideline score sheet you handed up, or was that the same thing?
That's the same thing.
Same thing. Okay, good. That hasn't changed. So my task is to figure out what an appropriate sentence would be somewhere between 48 months and 30 years in the Department of Corrections. Here are some factors that are considered, and Mr. Salnick alluded to them. The first thing is, well, in no particular order. I don't know if it's the first thing, but it's the first thing I'm getting to, and that is deterrence. Deterrence. And there's two types of deterrence. There's individual deterrence, and that is to impose a sentence to tell an individual person, don't do that again. And they won't be tempted to do it again because they were punished. Then there's general deterrence. And general deterrence is everybody else watching what sentence is imposed. And so a person watching a sentence be imposed will say, ooh, I'm not going to do that because that's a punishment that I might get if I commit that act. The next factor that we consider when we're trying to impose an appropriate sentence is rehabilitation. How to rehabilitate somebody, and that's a factor that I consider in this thing. And what does that mean in this case? How do I rehabilitate you from what you have done? And I think that's a function of spinning your moral compass. I think your moral compass is askew. I think that it's something that. It's not like getting a drug addict off drugs or an alcoholic off alcohol, but rehabilitation, I hope that occurs as part of this sentence. A big variable, and the one that's most conspicuous, is punishment. You impose a sentence to punish bad behavior, criminal behavior, and that's going to be a large component of this sentence. And also a valid factor in imposing a sentence is retribution. And retribution is giving society the vent, the outlet, the sense of that person got what he or she had coming. And that's an appropriate variable to consider, although I'm not putting any sort of much weight on that aspect of it at all. It is something that is validly considered. So I consider those factors and try to figure out what weighs most in tailoring a sentence for you. And it has to do with the facts of the case, and it has to do with who you are and what you were thinking. And here's the way I see it. I think that a lot of it is what were your motivations? What were you doing? What were you thinking when that was going on? And I just come to the most obvious conclusion that you were motivated by greed, by avarice, that you were motivated by lust for another person, that you were motivated by your desire to be free of your husband, and that desire started manifesting itself about 2-3 months after y'all were married. And the sad thing for me is that there is absolutely no moral justification for your conduct. There's no evidence that you were being beaten and you were defending yourself, that you were a battered wife, that you were an alcoholic, that you were the victim of child abuse, that you were somehow acting in defense of yourself, even under a misguided notion. There's none of that here. All of your conduct was just for self-indulgence and just trying to take every bit of money that you could get a hold of so that you could go on and live this fast life. Now, Mr. Selnick tries to allude that you had this lifestyle before you met Mr. Dippolito that was pristine and moral, and maybe so. I don't know about your behaviors before you met Mr. Dippolito, but I think it's folly to suggest that you somehow were pure of heart on the day that you met Mr. Dippolito back on October 2008, and then somehow being exposed to him for 2 months caused you to plunge into some sort of moral decay that caused you to become a would-be murderess. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. I think that was, notwithstanding everything your mom and your family tried to give you, that was who you became, who you were, and it manifested itself in these horrible acts. You met and married a man, and shortly after the honeymoon, you set about trying to get him arrested and thrown in jail for a violation of probation, trumping up charges, planting drugs on his car, having others call the police, trying to get his probation officer involved in it. In as early as March, you began this relentless campaign to get rid of your husband. First, you're thinking, well, I'll just get him sent off to prison and that would be good enough. You used guile and sophistry to dupe others into your web of deception. You were the puppet master that was pulling all the strings. You weren't acting at the direction of somebody else. You weren't under the influence of somebody else. You were the one calling the shots. And you were engaged in a course of conduct not over some momentary lapse of good judgment. This wasn't like, I ran a red light, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, what was I thinking? I had the gun in my hand and I shot it because I was angry. It was weeks and months that you continued with these different schemes to try to rid yourself of your husband that was just something out of a novel. And it was horrible to watch it unfold as the trial testimony came out. It was pure evil. You were taking advantage of a guy that was gullible, that was in love with you, and you contrived these elaborate plans and cajoled others to assist you in these efforts that were unwitting participants in your plan, and they didn't work. When the Green Acres Police Department failed to find the drugs that you had orchestrated being planted on the car, bad on the Manalapan Police Department, but then you tried it again and had drugs planted on the car again. And you had the West Palm Beach Police Department find it. And it was so preposterous that, law enforcement, not known to give drug dealers who were on probation a break, they didn't buy it. It was so ludicrous what was going on. And they let your husband go at that point. Still, it goes on. And Mr. Dippolito looking for a guard dog, that didn't seem, I don't know how Mr. Selnick was trying to suggest that was somehow, offensive, but I believe Mr. Dippolito during the trial when he said, I don't know what was going on. I don't know who was coming to try to get me. Someone's trying to plant drugs on my car. I'm not sure how much he suspected you had anything to do with it at that time, but in any event, that seemed kind of reasonable. He put the alarms on and was trying to protect himself any way he could. After those attempts to have your husband taken out of the picture by way of sending him back to prison for a long period of time, and when you learned that it wasn't good enough to have the house in your name, that if you wanted to sell the house, you were still going to need his signature, I think that's when it started to turn to even more sinister behavior. That's when it was that the plot to have him killed started to take form. During this time, it was when your husband was trying to make restitution, and I don't think he was motivated because he was pure of heart. He wanted to have some quid pro quo. He wanted to get assurance that if I give this money up, I'm going to get off probation. Not completely unreasonable, but his motivations were for self-interest and not because of some altruistic desire to compensate the victims. But I think that that's when you saw close to $200,000 of cash money assets about ready to leave your clutches. And that's when things started heating up. And that's when entered Mohammed Shihada and his effort to help you initially try to line somebody up to kill your husband. And then when things started getting out of hand, I think Mr. Shihada got cold feet, recognizing he probably would have been on the hook for part of this murder, and that's when he contacted Boynton Beach Police. And so fortunately, through no help of your own, the Boynton Beach Police Department came in and collected the evidence of your true intent, and that was to have your husband murdered. Murdered. And the state's right, Ms. Parker's right. If it had been successful, this certainly would have been a case where the death penalty would have been a real possibility. And so to that extent, the fact that you were caught and Mr. Dippolito was not murdered, one, Mr. Dippolito was not murdered, and two, you're not facing either life in prison or the death penalty. So those are the factors some of the factors that I've considered. A couple of other things is I find it disingenuous that it was always your desire to give the house back. The videotape when you got caught and the telephone calls that were recorded from jail where you were telling your mother, get him out of my house, and turning over the quitclaim deed here in court at this moment is a little more than grandstanding. If you wanted to give him the house back, you'd have given him the house back long, long ago. You didn't need lawyers. You didn't need anything other than someone maybe to help you understand how to fill out a quitclaim deed, which you had participated in before. But if it was truly in your heart to give him the house back, all you had to do was give him the house back with no strings attached. But you, I think, were trying to, try to maximize the play on giving the house back. So I appreciate that you, and through your attorney, have given it back. It seems appropriate. And maybe Mr. Dippolito's right that he was going to get it back anyway, no matter what, but that seems reasonable. But in any event, that's one less issue to have to haggle over in the divorce court. Mr. Salnick indicates that, being remorseful or saying I'm sorry really doesn't mean anything. And I disagree. I disagree. I think even today, Mr. Dippolito, still your husband, I think that I'm sorry, it's my fault, I did it, would have gone a long way. Not only for his healing, but it would have perhaps suited your own purpose. But I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard an ounce of remorse. The opposite of that, when confronted with the obvious facts, the most powerful testimony as to who you are is when you were in the police station and your husband walked by and looked in and you were begging him, tell him this is all wrong, tell him this is all wrong. And then later on the telephone, you were saying, he was confronting you with the evidence. I saw the tapes. I saw the videotape of you trying to have me killed. And you just cold-bloodedly said to him, I saw what you saw, and I'm telling you that's not true. And it was astonishing, the cold-blooded denial that you're willing to go to try to avoid the obvious. And so you are different people to different people. You have a certain facet of who you are with your mom, your sister, your brother, and they see the good in you, as siblings and parents should. But who you are when no one's looking, other than a camera in a police car, is quite different. And I think that peers deeply into your soul and speaks volumes of the way you were presenting this, and it was quite chilling to witness that. Based upon those factors, then, Ms. Dippolito, I'll accept the verdict of the jury. I'll find you guilty. I'll adjudicate you guilty. And I'm sentencing you to 20 years in the Department of Corrections. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've been on in-house arrest. I'll subtract that out. I'm not obligated to do that, but I'll give you credit for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that would be from the day of arrest. So from the day of arrest through today's date, we'll come off of the sentence. And I wish you well. I hope things turn around for you. I hope you're able to make something of your life. You're a young woman. You'll get out of prison. You'll be a changed person. And hopefully you will take that opportunity at that time to make the most out of what remains ahead of you. I don't think restitution's appropriate. I'm not sure that, let me do it this way. I'll order restitution. I'll let you all flesh that out. I don't think that there's enough of a nexus between the crime and the money lost by Mr. Dippolito. As much as my heart goes out to him, I think he was fleeced as a gullible husband, but I don't think that it's a matter of restitution. But for the record, I'll say restitution, parties to either agree to an amount. Otherwise, I'll leave it. I'll reserve jurisdiction on that for 30 days. If nobody approaches me, the amount of restitution will be zero. What I'd be interested in is first from the state proving an entitlement to restitution. I don't think you are, but I'll leave the door open for you. I'll also impose the mandatory court costs and reduce that to a judgment. Anything else, State, that you wish for me to do?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're in recess.
Okay, so that is not the end. It's not the end, my friend. Give me a second. All right, mouse, come on. Let me get rid of this. Get this. Not the end by far. Take the slapper away. Okay, so I came up with a timeline. I will tell you that I cannot tell you that it is 5,000%, like accurate, because I didn't have time to, sit and cross-reference everything and check everything. I think it's pretty close. So if there's a mistake in there, I apologize. You guys can all correct me. And I look punk rock today. So I told you this was Dalia's first trial. Okay, she was found guilty. She was sentenced to 20 years minus, I think, 2. So just the whole timeline for all of it. Obviously, her marriage was a sham, I think, from the get-go. I think we've all kind of agreed that Mike was a mark for her. So they meet in fall of 2008. They get married on February 2nd, 2009, 5 days after his divorce is final, because he was married at the time they met. In March 2009, she buys Mohammed Shihada the Range Rover. There wasn't 2 or 3 months. There was 1. Spring 2009, I don't know what month, Mike realizes there's $100,000 of his restitution money is missing, has not been paid. She was supposed to pay it. Not sure why he handed over that much money to literally somebody he barely knew, even though he married her. So, July 2009, Dalia's, whoops, how'd I love her? Oh, yes, Mike Stanley. Sorry, I changed that sentence today, and now I'm like, what? Impersonate the lawyer. That was a lawyer on the steps, or maybe that's not correct. We all know, we saw the guy on the steps. That wasn't Mike Stanley. Anyway, he called Mike Dippolito and told him to his probation had been successfully terminated early. July 2009, just days before the sting, Michael signed the deed over to Dalia. She had convinced him that because he was a convicted felon on probation, the house was at risk of being seized by the state if he ever got into trouble, and that putting it in her name would protect it. August 2009, police record Dalia meeting an undercover officer posing as a hitman. She is arrested after reacting to a staged crime scene filmed by cops. We heard all about this. So May 2011, the first trial begins. That's what we just watched. We watched the defense argue the plot was a reality TV stunt. We just watched the verdict. That was on May 13th. The jury deliberated for 3 hours before finding her guilty. She's sentenced to 20 years. September 11th, she is released from prison and placed on house arrest while her lawyers appeal the conviction. And it got overturned. In July 2014, the Florida 4th District Court of Appeals reversed Dalia's 2011 conviction. The court's decision was based on two primary issues regarding the jury selection process. Pretrial publicity. The case received massive media attention, largely because of the Boynton Beach Police Department allowed the TV show Cops to film the investigation. The defense argued that this publicity made it nearly impossible to find unbiased jurors. The antifreeze allegation. During jury selection, a potential juror mentioned in front of the entire pool that he had heard Dalia previously tried to poison her husband with antifreeze, an allegation the judge had already ruled inadmissible for the trial. The appellate court found the judge should have struck the entire jury pool at this point. He did not, obviously. Court error. The appellate court ruled that the judge erred by refusing to allow the defense to question potential jurors individually about their exposure to the media. The court found that simply asking for a show of hands to see if anyone was biased was sufficient to protect her right to a fair trial. It is it is really hard to get a conviction overturned. There are actual innocent people sitting in prison that cannot get an appellate court to give them a new trial. And she got basically because, and I get it, she needed a fair trial. She's entitled to a fair trial. Like, I get it. It's just frustrating. So trial number 2, December 2016, second trial is held with new defense strategy, objective entrapment, arguing the police manufactured the crime for TV. What is objective entrapment? While subjective entrapment focuses on whether a person was I'm going to stop reading. I wish Gabby was here. Predisposed to commit a crime. Objective entrapment focuses entirely on the conduct of the police. The argument is that the government's behavior was so outrageous and so egregious that it violates the defendant's constitutional right to due process, regardless of whether the defendant was willing to commit the crime. Here were she has new defense attorneys. So the 3 pillars of her defense for trial number 2. Dalia's lawyers, specifically Brian Claypool and Greg Rosenfeld, argued that the Boynton Beach Police Department, BBPD, which is harder to say, didn't just investigate a crime, they manufactured a spectacle for television. The cops' influence. The defense argued that the Boynton Beach Police Department was more interested in being featured on the TV show Cops than in following standard investigative procedures. They claimed the police scripted the fake crime scene and Dalia's discovery of her husband's death, specifically to create dramatic footage for the cameras. Which seems, Thanks, Frank. The rogue informant. The police attacked the credibility of Mohammed Shihada, Dalia's lover, who tipped off the police. They argued that the police coerced him into acting as an informant and that he was under immense pressure to deliver Dalia to the police to avoid his own legal troubles, essentially pushing her into a plot she wouldn't have otherwise pursued. He obviously could have just left the country, because he did. So, if he was worried about it. Failure to record. Her team highlighted that many of the hundreds of phone calls between Dalia and the informant were not recorded by the police. That one I don't understand. They argued that these on why they didn't record them. I don't understand that part. That seems like that should just be like rule number 1. They argued that these missing recordings contained evidence that would have proven Dalia was being pressured or expressing hesitation. That part I don't agree with. I don't think that, 5,000% sure does not give me anyone who's pressured or expressing hesitation. So the verdict in the December 14th, 2016 second trial, the strategy was highly effective here. The defense focused so heavily on police misconduct that the jury deadlocked 3-3. Leading to a mistrial. This was considered a massive victory at the time. That one's crazy to me. I think I may have accidentally taken it out, that they were in deliberations for 2 days before they said they were deadlocked. And it was even. Like, generally you have 1, or, but a jury of 6 is not that many people. While on house arrest after her conviction was overturned, Dalia gave birth to a son in 2016. So here we have trial 3 in 2017. In June 2017, the judge made a critical ruling. He decided that the question of objective entrapment was a matter of law for the judge to decide, not the jury. He ruled that the police conduct did not meet the legal threshold of being outrageous. The jury's view. So, stripped of the ability to officially rule on entrapment, the third jury focused on the video evidence where Dalia was 5,000% sure. They deliberated for only 90 minutes before convicting her. The verdict on June 16th. That's my husband's birthday. Not 2017, obviously. The year is different. The jury deliberates for only 90 minutes, like I just said, before returning a guilty verdict. She was sentenced July 21st, 2017. Judge Glenn Kelly sentences Dalia to 16 years in prison. She was given credit for the roughly 160 days she spent in jail before the 2017 sentencing, but the judge denied her request for credit for the 8 years she spent on house arrest between 2009 and 2017. So that was probably a huge blow to her because she would have been done. Let's see. Yeah, 16 years. So she ended up with 18 years in the one we just watched, because she had probably 2 years of house arrest. Yeah, she would have been out by now for sure. So 2019 to 2020, the Florida Supreme Court and the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear her case, ending her primary appeals. The father of her son, during bond hearing in 2017, it was revealed that the child's father is Robert Rice, sometimes identified in reports as Robert Davis. Didn't look him up. Since Dalia began serving her 16-year sentence in 2017, the child has been reportedly raised by Dalia's mother. I guess. During sentencing and subsequent appeals, her legal team and family emphasized that her mother was the primary caregiver in Dalia's absence. Dalia remains at Lowell Correctional Facility. Her current projected release date is her early 2032, which I found, great. A little ironic. Her family continues to care for her son. Like, they're both gonna... yeah, ironic. So I couldn't find much on Mike, and I will tell you, out of everybody, the child I looked the least on. Mike, I was kind of like, okay. And I know, Snipe, like, you watched the show, whoever did the show, I have not, so they probably have, obviously, more information. So it says that he remains on active probation. I don't know. I cannot 5,000% clarify that. I kept trying to dig. I'll just be honest with you, I didn't have a ton of time to look up some of his stuff, so that might not be correct. It would be kind of awesome if if his probation and her prison sentence both ended in 2032. I would think, I'm leaning towards he's not on probation anymore, if what we read that he's a millionaire still. So, says he's largely remained out of legal trouble. So, I don't know. Immediately after the arrest in 2009, which I just need to correct that one because that's not true. And it wasn't following the divorce that the property was returned to him. It was returned to him that day in court. So, in 2017, Mike shared that he had found love again and was engaged to a woman named Gloria. He has expressed in various interviews that he is focused on rebuilding his life and trying to move past the notoriety of the murder for hire case. And during Dalia's 2017 sentencing, Mike gave a victim impact statement where he described the ordeal as having ruined his life at the time, but he also expressed a sense of relief that the legal saga, which spanned 3 trials over 8 years, was finally concluding. There are no recent public court filings indicating Mike Dippolito has completed his probation early or had it revoked. Again, I don't know about that. And her mother. Was Dalia's mom a co-conspirator? I say yes. Allegedly. In my opinion. Only. Don't come after me, Rhonda. You're scary. While Dalia's mother, Rhonda Mohammed, has been a central figure in Dalia's defense and is the primary caregiver for Dalia's son, she was never officially charged as a co-conspirator. During the trials, prosecutors looked closely at everyone in Dalia's inner circle. However, there was no evidence produced in court that suggested her mother had prior knowledge of the murder for hire plot. I have a problem with that one. Or participated in the solicitation of the undercover officer. I don't think she probably did that. Her involvement remained strictly as a character witness and a support system, and the yeller at the state. She testified on Dalia's behalf during the sentencing phase, describing Dalia as a good person, a devoted mother to her son, born while on house arrest. And that is all I have. My thing with her mom is when Dalia called her from jail, she didn't say what happened. She didn't ask her, unless, why are you in there? What's going on? She didn't say any of it. It was like she already knew. Like, okay, like, we're working on it. Your dad and I are working on it. Like, she had to know something for that. Because if somebody calls me from jail, I'm going to ask, why are they there? Because I might not want to come get you. You might just need to stay there. Like, what'd you do? I'm not coming. But she never asked that question. So, do I think she knew about like Woody Jean or that other stuff? Probably not. But I do think she knew about the house. She knew about the guy that to meet on the courthouse steps because she arranged that. So she knew. They probably just couldn't prove how much she knew when she knew it. Just my opinion, and nothing more. So, yeah. Thanks, Frank. I mean, I just like her mom gives me not good, warm fuzzy feelings. And that may be true, Puddletown. I don't know. Because the other thing that bothers me about her mom, and maybe she was told to not talk about it, or, or like she just couldn't talk about it. I don't know. Your daughter had at least 3 men on the hook at the same time. Because we had Mike Stanley before Mike Dippolito, then Mike Dippolito, and then Mohammed Shihada. Those 3 people, well, 2 knew about Mikey D. Mikey D didn't know about them, and who knows who else was out there. She didn't have any problems doing anything like that. So, I don't know. It's like, who doesn't? I do not. So, I don't know. It's like, you think Dalia told her something like, I'm taking care of the problem? Maybe. It was from the start. There was no... Dalia wasn't in love with Mikey D. I don't believe that. I think he was flashy. I think she saw money, and she was gonna get it. So she tried. She probably could have done better in a divorce, but she probably would have had to stay longer, because I don't know what the time is. If I know here a long time ago, at least, I had a friend that she got married, went to her wedding, it was beautiful. She was an instant regret. Instant regret for some reason, and I don't know. They had been together for a long time before they ever got married, and because they hadn't been married 6 months, she was able to get it annulled. She didn't have to go through a divorce. So I don't know what that, I different states and all that stuff, and I couldn't even tell you if that's the law in the state anymore. But she probably would have had to stay longer to earn that money than if she just, stole it and then got him put back in prison. And I think if she would have gotten him put back in prison, he would have never been any of the wiser. I don't think he would have ever put it back to her. She would have just divorced him, took the condo, probably sold his cars, and went on her way. So, I don't know. But that's all I have on Miss Dippolito. I wonder if she took her maiden name back. I wonder if he was like, and I want you to. Like, here. I want my house back. I want my name back. I'm not going to get my money back. I'm going to go off and have a good life. Maybe. Hopefully he is. And who knows what she's going to do when she gets out. I have no idea if she has to serve the whole 20 years, if there's good time, if there's any of that in Florida. I don't know. You know a guy who married a stripper? Well, I think she was a stripper. They got divorced before I got a thank you. Wow. Oh, Oh, there will be good time. Dang. Good grief. So I don't know what we're doing next. I do know that we are going to take next week and just not do a trial. I think I'm just going to, I'm going to do a members only stream at one point. I just don't know what day. I told you it will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I need to get with Gabby and get with a couple of other people and trying to get some things worked out and see what I can make happen or not happen, or, you know, what have you. So on and so forth. Yes, you need to take all your Bratz avatars down for now. Yes, it will be. You're welcome, Frank. It will be on one of the days that end in Y. I know it won't be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I do know that. I know that one. So, you might be back to work. Aw. Well, we've enjoyed having you around Paddletown, and I am also very happy that, again, that your procedure went well. And I read the things you were saying yesterday about your procedure. Yes. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday or something. I don't know. Those are the Bob Ross stream days. Well, not if you want happy trees. If you want trees that look like they might be having a nightmare, then I can paint you some. They might give you nightmares. But they probably won't look very happy. Snipe is Bob Ross. I thought Bob Ross was R.I.P. See you, Katie. Oh, wait, before you go, I have to give away. Oh, I don't want to start a... I don't want to finish that sentence either. I'm learning with you guys. All right, I have to send some memberships before this month is out because I won't be here when the month is over. All right. Jam 420 Jam, Old Line Red, The Only Miss Nobody. I need glasses, Jace Girl 42, Straw Hat. What? Straw Hats something. Liam. Good grief. I'm so glad I go to the doctor on the 10th. This is sad. This is sad. Oh my gosh. Oh, they don't have to, you don't have to actually be in chat. All right, so we got Skyjacks 15, Chris Mullen. Wow, she's one of like the OGs. Objection 23 and 1, Popper 229, Marianne 9305. So, uh-oh. I know I'm wearing glasses. I know. Dang. I know I'm wearing glasses, and I'm still trying to bring my cursor over from a completely separate computer, like my laptop. I have not ever been able to see. They never were able to get these glasses right when I got them last year. And I got tired of trying to, like, it's a pain to get. I love my eye doctor. Love her to death. But it's not easy to get to her office. So I'm just kind of like, I'll just deal with them. So I should wear these like all the time, which I did with my other glasses, but I don't because I can't. They're progressives, and the progressive part is not right. I cannot wear them and like walk. So I don't have bifocals, but I do have progressives, and little tiny writing is hard for me to see. And I already don't have like vision at all in my left eye. I know none of you care about this. So I don't have good depth perception either. I'm quite clumsy. I can be sometimes. But yeah, I think I should be on the list. I should be on the list of just the rare syndrome of all these things. Age, one bad eye. Not bad enough that they will fix it. It needs a cornea transplant, but it's not that bad. Okay, depth has entered the chat. You got bifocals last September. I'm not doing it. Yeah, well, I can tell you, Puddletown. So I had a procedure done. It was experimental at the time, and now I don't even think they do it at all anymore. But my parents lived in California. I had to go to California to get it done. And I didn't realize, so they put, it's called an intact in my eye. So which this was horrifying. This was straight up out of a movie. So they give you a Valium, and then you're in a chair, and they put this thing in your eye, holding your eye open, and this thing is coming down, and it's going to cut your eye. It's and that was the worst feeling, because your eye, like your brain is screaming at you. You need to leave. You need to close your eyes. You need to run. Like everything bad is getting ready to happen to you. And that thing comes in and it cuts your eye. Then you really can't see. But they put what was called an intact in. So it's like a half moon on the top and half moon on the bottom. I mean, the procedure is like pretty easy. The only bad thing is when that eye got tired, it would just close. So it didn't matter what I was doing, like driving or what have you, my eye would just close and there was nothing I could do about it. And so after the procedure was done, we're driving back to my parents' house. We're on the freeway in California. I didn't realize that I did not have peripheral vision on that side until I caught a glimpse of a car go by. I about jumped out of my skin because I had no idea what was going on. It scared the crap out of me. But since then, that helped for a little while. They tried to just like put me in a regular contact, as you have to do the hard lenses, and no thank you. Then they did another thing called cross-linking, which was fine. I tried the scleral lens, which is awful. If you can get past how you have to put them in your eye, more power to you. I'm sure they're great. Again, I cannot do them. I can do regular contact lenses, but I can't do these things. I mean, this thing is like as big as, the colored part of your eye. It's awful. But other than that, I'm just fine. I see just fine. That's great. When they do the chart you're supposed to read, I'm like, just put the big E up there, and then I'm gonna tell you that's what I'm gonna see. So, age is getting me, and then I already have that. But I'm sorry, Bobby. No, I can drive just fine. I actually, the funny thing is, whenever I have to renew my license or take an eye test, they tell me that I have to have a driver's side mirror on my door. I'm like, well, who doesn't have that? Why wouldn't I have that? You'd be amazed at how you compensate for things that you don't know you're missing. Like, it's just, oh no. Oh, it censored you? Sorry. Yeah, I would think that it's like the law too. I don't know if it's still on my license or not, but the first time I saw it, I'm like, that's my, okay. Like, that's my restriction, is I have to have side mirrors. All right. I can handle that one. But I drive just fine. Maybe my road really isn't as bad as what I tell you guys it all is. Maybe that's the big secret. Is I just dream it up. Although I will say sometimes dark spots in the road at night kind of freak me out a little bit because they look like there's something there, and then I'm like, please don't be anything there. There's not. There's not. Oh my gosh. I don't know. What's up, Sarah? You fell asleep. We were just finishing up. We finished up Dalia's trial today. So we got the verdict, which was guilty, and then her sentencing. Then it was overturned. So then her other 2 trials. It was great. She's in prison. Long story short. You tried contact lenses once, but you still felt lonely. Frank, you are awesome. I mean, car, deer, cat, car, what? All right. Oh, I have to tell you guys something that I saw today. So there's a murder trial that apparently is set to happen in my town of 2,000 people, like my county. I don't know anything about it other than that the body was not found far, like from me, maybe 5 or 10 minutes away from me. And I hadn't heard anything about it, just kind of forgot about it. But they tried to seat a jury and they weren't able to because they sent out 120 jury questionnaires. They got 42 back. They didn't have enough to seat the jury. And it's going to be an 8-day trial. So I'm kind of like, fingers crossed. Would that not be cool? I mean, listen, I would be fair because I'm going to make the state have to prove it. I know nothing about who they arrested. I know nothing about the victim. I don't know anything. It was just a happen so that I even saw that story today. So I'm like, come on, people. Lived in this county since 95 and you've never called me for jury duty. Like, let's do this. Call me, pick me. And then I could tell you guys all about it. But that's, I just think the Amish don't fill out questionnaires. Yeah, it's Indiana. They'd be like, get out. I have never gotten called. I have filled out so many federal jury questionnaires. I would have to go to, I think, Terre Haute or Indianapolis for those. And my husband's like, you're the perfect person to go. And I'm like, I never get picked. I never get picked. So, but yeah, I just was like, man, that would be so cool. And then I'm kind of, what? Wait, sorry. Where you live, if you are sequestered, do they pick you up in a horse and buggy? I don't want to be sequestered. I would be scared of the room, of the, like, one motel in town. I'm not staying there. I'm just coming home. I'm just coming home. Yep, they don't. They go, I forget they named all the, voter registrations, driver's license. I forget how else they get the names, but they don't. So like Mo from Mo in the Deep End lives one county, the next county over from me. And her county, when you fill out the questionnaire there, you have like 6 months that you can get called. And our county is talking like maybe they should start doing something like that. I don't know. They're going to have to make some changes. But it is slated for July. So I'm kind of like, I want to do it at least once. I know most people don't, but it's an unaliving trial. Come on, man. So I don't know. I've not ever had to do. I think once I put down on the form that I had, like, I have Crohn's disease, so I have an autoimmune disease. They're like, ooh, no. I just won't. There's nothing that asks me if I have any autoimmune diseases. I'm just not going to answer it. So I don't know. But yeah, I really don't know anything about this case, and I'm going to continue to not know anything about this trial, because if I get picked, if I get called, I want it. But other than that, that's all the exciting news I have. So other than that, don't forget, Saturday is ultra rare day, syndrome, whatever disease, whatever you want to call it. For those people, it's not just for Cat 6A, it's for everybody. This is what my cause is because it's my granddaughter. And I think Gabby may have put a link up for it in Discord. Again, like, it's just for awareness. We're not asking for anything. We are just wearing, like, I will wear this on Saturday, but nobody will see me on Saturday except Madison, and she'll have hers on too. So it's just to show support, but I wanted to show it for her publicly here while I could, because otherwise it's just me and her Saturday hanging out, being twinsies in our shirts. It's also a spork. What? Yeah, they just leave me out for some reason, Sarah. Like, not fair. Whatever. You're welcome, Bad Dowser. I appreciate you being here. I really do. And I have a couple of trials that I'm going to look at. Gabby sent me a couple. They're shorter, so we'll probably do one of those. See what we can come up with. I'm trying to see if I can, speaking of sporks, get the Spork Whisperer on Monday, because she's always a good time. And that's my plan for Monday. After that, I just kind of have to see where everybody's at. So thank you guys for hanging out. I know this trial took, so Cat 6, sorry. So Sarah, Cat 6A, it's like very new, genetic disorder, there's disease. There's only about 700 people worldwide that have been diagnosed with it. They think other people have been misdiagnosed with things such as autism. I don't remember the other ones. That was the main one that I found. Fortunately, our granddaughter does not have a severe form of it, because some people never walk, they never talk, they have tons of surgeries, they have feeding tubes. She does have, I think, a hole in her heart or her valve that they're giving time. That hopefully it will heal itself. That's another thing that happens with these. She has low tone. She has hypermobility, hypertonia. But she's crawling. The girl's cruising all around the table now. She is, she's not talking yet, but she is starting to make new sounds. She's always engaging with you. She's always telling you something. And so I do believe she's going to talk. I do believe she's going to walk. You know, she's a small little thing. Most people don't think that she's 19 months old. She weighs 20 pounds. And she's tiny. So, but don't tell her that. She doesn't know. She does everything her way and on her time. And she's amazing. And she's very smart. And don't think you're sliding anything past her, because you're not. You're not. If anything, she is watching you. And yeah, she the second you're not looking, she's going to do what you thought that you just slid past her. So that's what that is. I'm sure there's way more to it. Her mom can explain it way better than I can. But unfortunately, she's at work right at the moment. So take care, Dodo. It was good to see you. Hopefully, we will see you again soon. Have a great weekend. It was a fun trial. And all the jokes. I hope everybody knows that I don't ever mean to be disrespectful to people. When something's funny, it's funny, because funny's funny. And I mean, Mikey D, as much as he just got on our nerves, the whole thing when he called the defense attorney a parrot and winked at the judge that was amazing. You just don't see people act like that. People don't think people act like that in court. And there's just outrageous things that happen. People just do and say funny things. We don't mean it to be disrespectful to the victims or their families or even the people that are on trial. We didn't like this defendant because we just didn't like the way she acted. We didn't like the way she treated people. We didn't like her entitlement. But I would never just go out of my way to hurt her. I would never say that stuff to her face. And plus, some of these trials get so dark, if you don't find something in there, it will stay with you in a bad way. Frank, I will definitely give Madison a hug. Have a great weekend. Thank you for recommending this trial. And thank you I'm glad you were here for the end. So, I think, yeah, it's okay to be small, especially when you're young. Yeah, I keep telling her, like, you're going to like this one day. What's up, Flashman? Life is funny. We all laugh. That is true. Yep, she's hitting her milestones when she's supposed to. Yep, at her pace. That's what I have said all along. No worries about that. I was in the lowest percentile for the longest time as a ped. Yep, I say, like, she's still making progress. She went to see an orthopedic doctor yesterday. All her reports, with this exception of this one, they've all come back clean. They all say she looks good. So I'm like, that's good. Like, we got to take the wins where we got them. It's nice to see, yeah, nobody died in this, at least before the trial. Oh, I figured you were at choir practice. Yeah, it's Thursday. Flash van. No problem. Absolutely. Carmen's the same way. Like, and I don't see the things that you people see in the medical field or things that she sees in her work. But I can tell you, watching these trials has just been like, there's some dark freaking crap out there and dark evil people. And you just have to, sorry. You gotta laugh sometimes. I feel like I'd get in trouble for contempt of court, either for nearly dying of laughter or accidentally objecting, because I totally object at my screen, whether I type it in chat or not. Yeah. That would be funny. And you did great tonight, Puddletown. Thank you very much. Who won? Well, Dalia's in prison after 3 trials, but she was out long enough to have a baby. She will get out in 2032, which is when Mikey D will get off probation. They can have a reunion of sorts. Although I wouldn't. Her mom might be like waiting in the bushes. And be like, oh no, nothing happened. Pedaltown did great. Absolutely great. Me too, Sarah. It's always good to see you. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got. I will land the plane, as Heidel says. I will hit the end. I will see you guys all on Monday. Hopefully with Carmen. Hopefully with Gabby. See what kind of trouble we can get in. I'm sure we can find some. And you're going to go eat. Of course you are. But you guys have a great weekend. Stay warm. Spring is on its way. Heidel is working on getting a hanger. I'm going to need one. I actually just need to fly by. I'm just going to do the Top Gun flyover. Like flyby, whatever it's called. So, all right. Seriously. Land in the plane. See you guys all later.
Love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, hot mannequin love candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go.